Hi, this is Egypt, and I wanted to share a few minutes with you. I want to share some fruit with you. I wanted to ask a question to all those who stop by to listen, just to take a few minutes. Who are you? Do you actually know who you are as far as being a man and being a woman? Do you know who you are aside from the labels that people give you, the titles, the labels, the names that people give you, that society give you? Do you actually know who you are? If you was to introduce yourself to yourself, how would you introduce yourself? And I was cooking one day and I came upon a epiphany, and I was cutting some onions and I thought about it later on, and I can compare our lives, really my life, to an onion. And what I call this is the onion self. The onion self is like an onion. What we have outside layers that's thin, that's fragile, that crumbles to the touch. Not much is protected in our lives. There's no aroma, there's no effectiveness. uh, as though, like, let's say if we get easily hurt. A lot of people, somebody say something to you, or do something, or don't do it, we get easily hurt. Just like an onion, the outside layer of an onion is very fragile, very thin, easily to be crumbled. And that's our emotional level, the first level. We get offended easy, we get hurt easy, we get disappointed easy, and we seem to crumble when things don't go our way. That's the first layer of an onion, and that's what we do. We cover all that up with makeup and different attitudes, but really we're really fragile. It's really a fragile layer, that first layer that people see. That's why a lot of times we try to overwork ourselves and get so pretty and make people think that we're just so strong. But really, we're like the first layer of skin on an onion. We're very fragile. Now, the second layers, when you peel back layers, when you take all of the labels that people give you, like let's say if you're a mom, you're a dad, you're an uncle, your grandmother, you're a coworker, you're a boss, all the labels, you're a doctor, lawyer, whatever labels the society give you, take all that away, peel all that away, and then you're left with yourself. Who are you really? Have you ever thought about who are you as a person, as a woman, without all the labels, without the mom, the dad, the grandparents, the entrepreneur, the business dealer, the thief, the crackhead, whatever you are, and people know who they are. Have you come in tune to yourself to know who you are as a person, the deep core of you? Now, as you peel like an onion, as you peel back layers of yourself, if you notice, the skin gets a little thicker on an onion. It gets a little thicker, it gets a little stronger, and it needs more pressure and more pressure to peel off than the first layer. So, and needs more pressure to expose the other layers. So you have to work a little harder to expose the layers, and it protects the core. The rest of the onion, the thicker part of the onion, protects the core of the onion, which is our heart. So we have these layers that protect our core, and when we start pulling back layers of ourselves, and just like an onion, an aroma starts to rise and increase. And this is what I call the self-awareness stage, where you're not easily offended. You listen to the truth about yourself. When somebody tell you, I don't like what you said, or you wrong for that, and you lied, or whatever like that, you start to listen to the truths about yourself, because people know who they are. As far as, if you know you lied, you're a liar. And you begin to accept change, because as you peel back the layers, just like an onion, the layers start to change. It gets thicker, it gets more aroma start coming up, and you're able to take more as you start revealing yourself and you become transparent. Now, the last section of the onion, from when I cut it, when we all cut it, when you peel back the layers, and I'm talking about the layers of stuff that you try to cover up, be transparent. The things that you know you're wrong about, the things that people tell you about yourself, and you have to sit back and think about it, like, you know what, yeah, I am controlling. Like me, I had control issues, but I was told that. And not just one person told me that, a couple of people told me that. That made me look at myself. So I had to reevaluate my control ways, and that helps. When you get self-awareness is the second layer, like I said. Well, when you get to the third layer, like I said, that's your inner strength, that's your core, that's the strongest layer. And it doesn't look like the other layers. It's very strong and it's very potent, just like the scent of an onion, very, very potent. And An onion, just like ourselves, when we start exposing ourselves and revealing ourselves and really being in tune with ourselves and knowing ourselves enough to not be afraid to show other people who we are, an aroma starts to rise and it demands and draws attention because you're being honest with yourself as well as other people. And some people may still get offended, but that's because they haven't peeled back the layers of themselves yet. So when you peel back yourself, when you get to that last core like an onion, you can add flavor to other people because you're being truthful, not only to yourself, you recognize the truth in others, and you're able to just be honest enough to say what it is. So it draws attention and it demands attention actually, and it can flavor someone else's life. An onion, like an onion, when you cut up an onion and put it in different things and foods, not different things, but food, it flavors other things. So its core is very effective and in its surroundings and in its environment. When you expose your core, when you expose who you are, but the thing is you have to pull back those layers to see who you are and be truthful. Just be truthful who you are, because some of us, in fact, most of us are not right with things that we do, but we want everybody to think we are, that we have it all together, but we really don't. And like, for example, let's say if you leave an onion, I'm looking at my notes. That's why I keep looking away. I'm looking at my notes. If you leave an onion exposed, it demands attention. It demands attention because it's exposed. All the layers are cut back. You get to the core and you smell it. And it permeates the area. But if you leave it too long, it gets rotten. So you have to find a balance in that. You have to find a balance. So what I wanted to say, sometimes layers are what our circumstances or what people around us create for us. Like let's say, like I said earlier, mother, father, sister. If you're a thief, you're a thief. If you're a cheater, you're a cheater. It's not right, but pretty much you know what you do, and maybe you haven't put a label on it. But if you are a cheater, let's say if you're messing with a married man or a married man is messing with you or messing with somebody else, you're a cheater. Hey, that's a layer. That's a layer you need to pull off yourself to get right. And so some people are manipulators, and pretty much you know what you do, but do you know who you are? Because those labels don't define you. It's just, those are just behavior patterns that you do. But on the inside, is that really you? Sometimes when we get labeled a thing, we act in that label. We may not be, let's say people are associated with the company they keep. You may not be a whoremonger, but if you hang around enough whoremongers, you'll be classed the same way. So do you know who you really are if you take away all the labels that people say you are, take away all the environmental stimuli that says you are who they say you are, and look inside yourself and see the core of you. And deep inside, people know what they do. So it's no use trying to pretend. Just pull back those layers like an onion. And as like an onion, you can affect and effect your environment and other people. Just your presence demand attention. Your presence permeates the area. Your presence bring people either anger, happiness, sadness. If your presence changes an environment, then you are potent. But you want to do that in a positive way. So, because people treat you, folks, people treat you how you treat yourself. So you can't love me if you don't love yourself. There's no way in the world you can respect yourself, love yourself, care for yourself, and then there's no way you can love, respect, care for, have so much commitment to another person and you don't have that to yourself. Because at the beginning of the day, it starts with you, and at the end of the day, it ends with you. So like some person told me once that not everybody is as strong as you. Yes, you are. It's just the fact that the layers have not been peeled away for you to even expose yourself, to even know your potential, to know how potent you know, to know how to know how potent you are, to know how strong you are. You never pull that back the layers. You never even bother to find out what it is that you want, because you're going by what somebody else told you are and how they treat you. People treat you how you treat yourself. If you love yourself, you respect yourself, you'll draw those type of people. They can't come at you any kind of way because you're not going to have it. So just like an onion, I just want to give you an example. Like I was saying, the first layer, this is an onion. Look how flimsy and easily disattached. Crumbles to the touch, crumbles. That's some of our personalities. That's some of us. Get offended so easily. There's no substance. But as we pull back those layers, I'm not going to cut. I'm just going to pull back layers. As we pull back layers, if you notice, layers get thicker. This is not as strong. It gets thicker and thicker with each layer. And that's us. You get stronger and stronger when you know the truth about yourself. If you know you are a common thief or manipulator, peel that off. Take that off. Own it. Apologize for it. Forgive yourself for it. Forgive the person or whatever. However you got to that place, peel it off like an onion. Okay, as you peel an onion, like I said, the skin gets thicker and thicker and thicker. And then some people skip steps. They skip like an onion when you're cooking. People skip steps and they cut. They cut right into the onion, so they're skipping. You see how many layers that is? But this is the core. Look at the core. The core of it is totally different. Totally like no other part of the onion. That's the core. That's the most strongest part. That's you. That's your heart. That's your heart here. But look how many layers you have to go through to get to your heart. And people, usually what they do, they bypass all of what's going on with them and they cut right into it. They cut right into it. And we allow people to cut right into us instead of dealing with us and dealing with certain issues. They act like it's not there. They cut right into it like an onion and expect the same results. But the better the results is when you peel back those layers. So I just wanted to use that as an illustration. Right there, that's your heart. That's the heart of you. That's the core of your being. Find out. Find out who you really are. Take all that stuff away that people put on you and that you put on yourself and that you allow people to put on yourself. Take all that away and find out who you are. Introduce yourself to yourself. Find out who you are and what you want and demand that, because your presence demands it, because it's potent and it's strong and people smell that aroma on you. They smell that confidence on you. They see the strength in you and they will respond to you accordingly. So I just wanted to share that. Y'all have a blessed day. Be strong and don't be afraid to expose who you are, because at the end of the day, it's you. It's about you, really. So you can't love me if you don't love you. And I just don't believe it. I just don't believe you can have any kind of anything positive towards me if you don't have it for yourself. Y'all have a blessed day and talk to you soon.